On June 5, 1967, the largest armed conflict in a decades-long clash over Holy Land in the Middle East erupted. While it lasted just under a week, the Six-Day War would change the geography of the Middle East for decades to come. In May 1948, Israel, with authority from the United Nations, formally declared its independence. In doing so, the Israeli government laid claim to land that had previously been classified as Palestinian territory, including part of the holy city of Jerusalem. The new country was therefore by design surrounded by pro-Palestine Arab nations that opposed Israel's existence. Almost immediately, troops from those neighboring countries invaded Israel and tried to reclaim some of the land. The Israeli government responded by expanding and fortifying its military presence, while peacekeepers from the UN worked to prevent the region from descending into chaos. Over the next 2 decades, tensions continued to simmer in the region as Israeli and Palestinian forces clashed, sometimes violently over trade routes, global political alliances, and their continued dispute over Jerusalem. In the spring of 1967, Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser mobilized troops in the Sinai Peninsula, requested the removal of United Nations peacekeeping personnel, and blocked Israeli ships from passing through the Straits of Tiran, moves designed to further disrupt Israel's safety and economic stability in hopes of eliminating the country and reclaiming its land. By mid-May, Egypt and Syria had formalized an alliance along with Jordan and Iraq soon after. The countries began to increase their military presence along their shared borders with Israel. Viewing these actions as antagonistic, the Israeli government decided to move swiftly and act offensively. The timeline went like this. On June 5th, the Israeli military launched simultaneous preemptive attacks. The first strike strategy was a resounding success, as Israel's air assaults decimated the Egyptian and Syrian air forces before their planes had even left the tarmac. Jordan's government then entered the fight by starting combat operations in West Jerusalem, where they faced and were quickly overmatched by Israeli defensive counterattacks. With the Arab alliance's air forces incapacitated, Israel was left with advantages on the ground, allowing their troops to expand in multiple directions across the region, overpowering their Arab foes and expanding Israeli territory. By June 7th, the United Nations Security Council called for a ceasefire, and the ceasefire took effect for all parties involved, thereby ending the war. More than 10,000 members of the pro-Palestine Arab Alliance were killed. Hundreds of thousands of refugees from the captured territories were immediately placed under Israeli rule. Nearly 800 Israeli troops were also killed. Prior to the Six-Day War, Israel spanned 7,200 square miles, roughly the size of New Jersey, and its population was less than 2% of the entire Middle East. As a result of their overwhelming victory, Israel more than doubled its territory by claiming the Gaza Strip and Sinai Peninsula from Egypt, the Golan Heights from Syria, and the West Bank from Jordan, including East Jerusalem. The war may have only lasted 6 days, but its impact redrew the map of the Middle East.